Well, hello everybody. It is
Hello.
Sunday. Yes, you always do that.
What?
Interrupt me. Today is Sunday, the 26th of September, 2010. See, now would be the perfect time to interrupt me.
Oh, now?
Yes,
Okay.
back then.
Back then?
The part that you just missed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one?
Okay.
That one, yeah.
That one.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I dropped the ball.
It's okay.
Okay.
Another opportunity. There you go. There you go.
Oh, hey, cool. Thanks.
Uh-huh.
I love my wife.
I am pretty good.
Yes, she's done some awesome things for me. And what we wanted to go over today is more about how our lives have changed after my diagnosis.
Well, talking about priorities and
Yeah.
specificity because, our lives have changed
Drastically.
quite a lot, and
Yeah.
more than we can talk about in one film video,
Yes. And that may be a topic that we will touch back with in the future.
if you'd like.
And so one of the big altered priorities has been about our careers. I was well on my way towards becoming an architect, and I do miss it. But the thing is, I don't necessarily have the lifespan to complete the training necessary for it, and it's a long path. Think of it like med school, only it's harder because at least in med school there are right answers. In architecture, there aren't any.
And there's like an 85% chance you'll be dead by the end of the first semester.
For me.
Yeah. So it's one of those, you can certainly try,
Mhm.
and you can apply, and you can go, but
Yeah.
there's not quite that good, solid, firm footing that a lot of,
No.
colleges or loan people would, say, hey, you want to go to school? Awesome, here's some money.
Are you going to pay us back?
They don't really do that.
Sure.
Yeah. So I've been trying to, I don't necessarily see your career as your definition of who you are, because who I was set long before I chose my career, or my career, my at least intended one, kind of found me. I've always been comfortable around dead people. I've always, pretty much since I was 5 or so, known that I would most likely be working around dead people, and really by about age 10 or so was fairly fucking certain of it. There I go swearing again, sorry.
It's okay.
But it's not, I've never considered what I do as who I am. Who I am can influence what I do.
Yeah.
With Wash, it's not quite the same thing. So he has a bit more of a hard time accepting that he's now, literally retired, as it were.
Yes, and that's how I refer to it when people ask, hey, so what are you doing? Because it's a question that comes up as a general topic of conversation. I have to say,
yeah.
I'm retired.
But he doesn't play golf, okay?
No.
Please,
not my game.
Let's not, say that he fits into the stereotype of the rest of the snowbirds who are retired. He does not golf. He lives here full time, and he.
Well,
actually, honey, you do kind of drive like an old person.
I know.
Sorry, but you really do.
I have joked that I am
really
like an old person, and yeah, all right, so I drive like an old person.
Yeah, you can see his stand up on his thing. We'll do that another time. It's okay though. Because it's one of those, sure, honey, it's okay. Drive 8 miles an hour under the speed limit. It's like you've got time to spare, right? We have fun driving together. We really do.
Yes.
Also, shut up. In case you're wondering, these nifty things on top of our heads, ooh, nice bald spot there.
Thanks.
Sexy. Are really, really awesome goggles. Mine were given to me as an anniversary gift from this guy here. And his were made...
Well, mine are the prototype. This is the first set that I built, and...
he's built more. So.
I have built more. And please, let's not have orders flood in, because, there's me and I get like 2 good weeks. So I'll put them up on Etsy.
Focus.
But anyhow... really I'm focused a lot more now on crafts and hobbies and getting into some volunteering and that sort of thing instead of on my previous career.
Which to me hooks in with a change in the idea of your quality of life. Most people who are, split the age, most people who are 25, their idea of a quality life, is, okay, I'm either finishing up school and graduate school or have my, degree and I'm starting my career now, getting my first, big person car, my first new car, possibly looking into buying a house or settling down, getting married, maybe having your first kid. There are
the
these
normal
certain
life
there are these
path.
certain milestones and certain achievements, at least material achievements, that a lot of Americans look for. And for us, they really just don't exist at all. It's not incomprehensible. It's just not our reality.
The potential for it was there, and then this mess happened, and
So quality of life takes on a new meaning. When you have 30 years left, quality of life means something very different than when you have, 3 years or 2 or 3. Are you doing months or years?
years.
Okay. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
I can be helpful.
Okay.
But there's a different focus. Material things aren't necessarily weighted as much. Now, I do have a rather large video collection. Granted, part of that was who I am and my Aspies and certain things that I collect beforehand, but another large part of it is that he's literally homebound, as in can't leave the fucking house for 19, 20 days out of the month usually.
Sometimes that much, yeah.
Staring at four walls gets boring. So having, entertainment around is quite handy.
Yes.
And it increases his quality of life.
Yes.
For some people it's different. I've never seen cable as a necessity until I was homebound and literally, for sometimes 2 weeks can't get out of the bed, he can't move or anything. You've literally got nothing but perhaps reading, if you can feel up to it, if your brain can focus, if he can stay, on his memory track long enough. So your ideas of what you want and what pleasures you change. For me, sitting out in my garden for 10 minutes getting to hold his hand is as exciting, I'm sure, as a lot of people are when they go to Disneyland. Well...
And for me, I mean, I know you have a lot of videos and movies, and I like that. But those aren't necessarily material; those are experiential. And I'm looking at the things that I have.
I like that.
And most of the stuff that I have is not necessarily material per se. It's like, oh, that awesome toy, I gotta have it, barring the Mr. Potato Head. But it's that
Mr. Steampunk Potato Head.
the only thing that I can really take with me is what I've experienced and my memory. At least I think if I get to take anything with me. Everything else in the world is left behind. And I always knew from the beginning and outset that I was only a custodian of the things that I owned. I can't own them per se because I can't take them with me.
People in Europe have a slightly more firm concept of this. Americans usually get deeds and titles, and they can own, like literally own their land from the government, the bank, whoever, the state, whoever has it before them, in their lifetime. For a lot of people in Europe, and you may not know this, usually the church or sometimes the state actually holds the property.
Yeah.
And you can lease it for, 100 years or 1,000 years. But you can't actually own the land because the idea is it's intransient and you are not.
Yes. That typically comes down from royal titles, I guess, because they were kingdoms at one point. Maybe.
This
beside the point.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to lecture.
It's the actual possession of objects for me now. The idea of he who dies with the most toys wins is thrown out the window because I realized that what am I going to do with those toys? Not a whole lot. At least I can't enjoy them for very long, so I can't necessarily...
You keep hiding in the shadows.
Sorry. I can't necessarily go and buy a jet ski.
No, and I don't think you could actually operate a jet ski either, so that's...
Oh.
That wasn't your point that you were trying to make.
No, that really wasn't.
Sorry.
But thanks.
Sorry, I take things literally.
Yeah.
I know. And then, it's one of those, we're talking about changes and how you look at things. And one of the other things that I've been seeing is that when you're sick, chronically or terminal, and you are a young person or someone who is not supposed to go, other people change how they look at you too. And what we've noticed is it's created a sort of distance between certain friends and family members. And that's that's another blog post that we can certainly put up a little bit later. But when you realize that not only your life has changed, but there's this dichotomy, because sometimes There's a stranger who can be looking at you who doesn't get it at all. They have no idea that you have cancer and perhaps a few months left to live, and that,
Yeah.
every moment is so meaningful to you. And there are other people that can look and they recognize the signs. They see the scars or they see the hair loss and they realize that something's there. And there's that
I'm not wearing a
that
hat. It's kind of hard
moment.
to ignore.
Yeah, there's that moment where they can try to connect with you. And for me, I feel it come across as pity from everyone who is not where we are. So everyone who's, older than he is, it's pity because they've made it past where he is. Anyone who's graduated, they've made it past where he will ever get to. It's I have this, because I've earned it, but you've lost this through no fault of your own. And I think that's the part that gets to me is it's not your fault at all that you have brain cancer.
No.
But unfortunately, you're still penalized for it exactly as if you had done something to get it.
Yes. In some ways, there is some stigma attached. I keep telling people it's only cancer; it's not contagious.
Probably.
But some friends have chosen to distance themselves because they're at the point in their lives where they're trying to build life. They're approaching what are their greatest point of maturity. Yes, and they're trying to build their lives. I am winding down.
Yours, yeah.
Really, of just preparing for the end of mine.
It's just it's two different perspectives now. So,
it's like being separated by 40 years from somebody else.
It really is. We were aged 40 years in 2 weeks. Such is life. So,
well,
that's just a little glimpse on how certain parts of our perspectives have changed.
Yes.
And that's what we've got for you today. Hopefully it was,
education.
entertaining.
So, in that case, we will bid you good day.
All right, we'll see you folks later. Tune in next time.